Imagine a gardener, brimming with enthusiasm, dedicating all their energy and time tending to the gardens of others. They invest their heart and soul into making their neighbors' gardens flourish, while their own garden lies neglected, its once vibrant colors slowly fading into a monotonous gray. This gardener, my friends, could very well be any one of us. A person so consumed with the act of giving and kindness that they forget to tend to their own needs and well-being. This is the trap of excessive kindness. Excessive kindness, often touted as a virtue, can be a pitfall. Just like our gardener, we too at times can get so caught up in caring for others that we neglect ourselves. The joy of seeing others flourish can be so thrilling that it blinds us to the ruin we are causing to our own soul. The sacrifices we make, the energy we expend, and the time we invest in others can leave us feeling burnt out, exhausted, and unappreciated. Our own health and happiness become the casualties of our benevolence. But does this mean we stop being kind? Does this mean we retreat into a shell, becoming self-absorbed and indifferent? Absolutely not. What we need is a balanced approach to kindness, one that doesn't compel us to lose ourselves in the process of helping others. And this balance can be found in the philosophy of Stoicism. Stoicism, an ancient Greek philosophy, offers a way of being generous without losing oneself. It encourages us to establish healthy boundaries that can help prevent emotional and physical depletion. The Stoics believed in the importance of self-care and saw it as vital for maintaining our capacity to be of service to others. It is akin to the advice given on airplanes: in case of an emergency, put on your own oxygen mask before helping others. This doesn't mean we turn a blind eye to the needs of others. Rather, it's about ensuring we are in a good place ourselves before we extend our hand to help. It's about asking ourselves if the help we are about to extend is sustainable, and if it preserves our personal well-being. Imagine if our gardener had taken this Stoic approach. They would have first ensured that their own garden was well-tended and flourishing. Only then would they have extended their services to the gardens of others. And in doing so, not only would they have avoided their own garden's ruin, but they would also have been able to keep helping others over a longer period. In this journey of life, it's important to remember that compassion starts with self-compassion. Kindness begins with being kind to oneself. It's about learning to give from a place of love and abundance, rather than from a place of depletion and burnout. The Stoic philosophy encourages us to maintain this balance. It reminds us of the importance of self-care in our pursuit of kindness and generosity. It urges us to ensure that our acts of compassion are sustainable and don't lead us to ruin, just like our gardener. In the end, it's about being a wise gardener. One who knows how to nurture their own garden first, before venturing out to help others. One who understands that they can only give what they have, and that to give, they must first ensure that they themselves are in a state of abundance. So, the next time you find yourself on the verge of burnout, or feeling unappreciated, despite all your acts of kindness, pause and ask yourself, am I taking care of myself? Am I being a wise gardener? Remember, you can only give what you have, and to give, you must first have. That's the Stoic way. That's the balanced approach to kindness. When we engage in acts of kindness, it's easy to slip into the mindset of reciprocity, a feeling of expectation that our generosity will be rewarded in kind. The more we give, the stronger this expectation grows, subtly weaving itself into the fabric of our relationships. But what happens when the generosity we extend isn't reciprocated? The resulting disappointment can be crushing, causing resentment to creep in and cast a shadow over our acts of kindness. But why do we feel this way? Because we've forgotten the true joy of giving. We've allowed our act of giving to be tainted by expectation. The anticipation of repayment becomes a silent condition attached to our acts of kindness, causing us to lose sight of the joy the act of giving itself can bring. But Stoicism offers a unique perspective on this. Stoicism teaches us that the joy should come from the act of giving itself, not the anticipation of repayment. It tells us that generosity is not about getting, but about giving. It's about the joy we feel when we see others benefit from our acts of kindness, the joy that comes from knowing we've made a difference in someone's life. This doesn't mean that we should throw caution to the wind and give recklessly. Rather, it's about cultivating a form of generosity that is self-sustaining and fulfilling, one that involves giving freely but wisely. The Stoics believed in the concept of wise giving, where we are mindful not just of the act of giving, but also of its impact on us. It's essential to understand that not everyone will reciprocate our generosity, and that's okay. Our joy must not be tied to their reaction, but rather to the act of giving itself. When we give without expecting anything in return, we liberate ourselves from the burden of expectation and the sting of disappointment. This is the essence of Stoic generosity. Now, let's return to our gardener. Suppose they gave away all their seeds to others, anticipating that they would receive a similar gesture in return. But what if that doesn't happen? Wouldn't they be left with a barren garden? The disappointment they would feel is natural. But the Stoics would tell them to find joy in the act of giving itself, in the knowledge that they helped others' gardens to flourish. But, again, this doesn't mean that the gardener should give away all their seeds mindlessly. It's about giving freely but wisely, ensuring that their own garden doesn't suffer as a result. It's about understanding that while giving brings joy, it shouldn't lead to self-deprivation. This concept is beautifully encapsulated in a quote from Seneca, a renowned Stoic philosopher, who said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient." So, the next time you find yourself feeling disappointed because your generosity wasn't reciprocated, remember Seneca's words. Find joy in the act of giving itself, free from the chains of expectation. But also, give wisely, ensuring that your generosity doesn't lead to your own depletion. This is the Stoic way, the balanced approach to generosity. It's about giving, but not at the cost of losing oneself. It's about finding joy in the act of giving itself, rather than in the anticipation of repayment. This is the essence of Stoic generosity, giving freely, but wisely. Having explored the concept of reciprocity and the potential disappointment that can come from expecting the same level of generosity in return, it's crucial that we delve into the importance of setting boundaries and avoiding overdependency. This brings us to the very heart of the philosophy of Stoicism, the promotion of self-reliance and fostering relationships based on mutual respect and understanding rather than transactional interactions. After all, giving freely, but wisely, also involves knowing when to set limits and when to say no. To better understand this, let's consider a mother-daughter relationship. The mother, out of her love and generosity, is always there for her daughter, supporting her in every aspect of her life. Over time, however, this constant support may begin to stifle the daughter's growth. She might become overly dependent, never learning to navigate life's challenges on her own. In this scenario, the mother's act of kindness has unintentionally led to the daughter's overdependency. This is a constant risk we face when we engage in acts of kindness without setting healthy boundaries, the possibility of fostering overdependency. As with our gardener, the mother's intentions are noble, but the outcome is not sustainable. It hinders growth, both for the giver and the receiver. Here again, the teachings of Stoicism offer valuable insights. Stoicism encourages us to foster relationships based on mutual respect and understanding, rather than on transactional interactions. It nudges us towards self-reliance, teaching us the importance of learning to stand on our own 2 feet. It's not about discouraging acts of kindness or generosity, but rather about recognizing the value in setting boundaries and promoting independence. What if the mother, instead of doing everything for her daughter, guided her, provided her the tools to handle life's challenges, and then stepped back, allowing her to learn and grow? This approach not only promotes the daughter's independence, but also takes care of the mother's well-being. It is a more balanced, sustainable approach, embodying the essence of Stoicism. How can we apply this to our lives? It starts by setting healthy boundaries. It's okay to say no when we feel overwhelmed or taken advantage of. It's okay to prioritize our well-being. In fact, it's not just okay, it's necessary. But this requires us to pay attention to our feelings and our needs. It demands us to recognize and respect our limits. It calls for us to practice self-care, to ensure that our acts of kindness are not leading to our own depletion. It also involves identifying those who take without giving back, those who drain our resources without contributing to our well-being. Stoicism reminds us that it's possible to be generous without losing ourselves. It encourages us to practice balanced generosity, a form of kindness that takes into account not just the well-being of others, but also our own. It's about finding that sweet spot where we can give freely and wisely, promoting growth and independence, without losing ourselves in the process. And so, as we navigate through life, let's strive to cultivate this balanced approach to generosity. Let's embrace the wisdom of Stoicism and learn to give freely, but wisely. With this, we can avoid the trap of excessive kindness, foster healthier relationships, and ultimately lead more fulfilling lives. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it beneficial, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more discussions on philosophy, personal growth, and self-improvement. As always, remember to take care of yourself as you continue to care for others. Because, just as we've learned from Stoicism, true kindness is about striking that balanced harmony between caring for others and caring for ourselves.